Welcome back to the channel Rare Coins Collections. Today, we're exploring a coin that's often overlooked by casual collectors but holds incredible value for those who truly understand its significance, the 1987 United States 5-cent nickel. At first glance, you might think, it's just a nickel, right? But as you'll soon discover, there's so much more to this coin than meets the eye. In fact, this humble nickel could be worth a small fortune. Stick around until the end of the video, where we'll reveal just how much this coin could be worth today. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. The 1987 5-cent nickel may not seem like anything extraordinary, but it's actually a coin that has piqued the interest of serious collectors for years. To understand why this coin is so valuable, let's first take a look at the history and design of the 1987 nickel. The obverse of the 1987 nickel features the iconic image of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. This portrait, designed by Felix Schlag, has appeared on the U.S. nickel since 1938, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. Jefferson's profile is a symbol of American leadership, wisdom, and the founding principles of the nation. The reverse side of the 1987 nickel shows a depiction of Jefferson's famous home, Monticello, which has been featured on the nickel since 1938 as well. Monticello, with its grand architecture, stands as a reminder of Jefferson's contributions to American history. Now, while the design and symbolism are certainly important, it's the rarity and condition of the 1987 nickel that really make it a coveted item for collectors. The U.S. Mint produced millions of these nickels in 1987, so in terms of overall availability, it doesn't seem like this coin would stand out. But here's the catch: finding one in exceptional condition is extremely rare. The 1987 nickel was widely circulated, and over time, many of these coins became worn from being used in daily transactions. So, while the coin itself was minted in large numbers, the number of well-preserved, high-grade coins has decreased significantly over the years. For collectors, the value of a coin is largely determined by its condition, and this is where the 1987 nickel starts to shine. Coins that are in pristine or near-mint condition, free from scratches, discoloration, and wear, are highly sought after. Even a small imperfection can drastically lower a coin's value, so finding one in top condition is a rare and valuable find. A coin graded as mint state or proof will naturally be worth much more than a coin that's been through years of circulation. If you happen to have a 1987 nickel that looks like it was just minted, you may be holding onto something truly special. Additionally, some 1987 nickels are prized because of their special characteristics, like a rare die variety or an unintentional minting error. Minting errors are particularly valuable because they make the coin one of a kind. Whether it's an off-center strike, a double die, or another type of flaw, these error coins can skyrocket in value due to their scarcity. Collectors love these anomalies, and they are willing to pay a premium for these unique finds. If you have a 1987 nickel that has one of these rare minting errors, your coin could be worth far more than a standard issue. So, what exactly does all of this mean for the value of a 1987 nickel? Well, as with most rare coins, the price varies depending on the condition and rarity of the specific coin. But here's the exciting part: if you have a 1987 nickel in top-tier condition, one that has been carefully stored and is free from wear and tear, you could be looking at a coin worth $67,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $67,000 for a single 1987 nickel. That may sound unbelievable, but it's the truth. The 1987 nickel, especially those in uncirculated or mint condition, has become highly desirable among collectors. And if your nickel has a rare minting error or other unique characteristics, the value could easily exceed that amount. These kinds of finds don't come around every day, which is why coins like the 1987 nickel have become so valuable in the world of numismatics. Now, you may be wondering how to determine whether your 1987 nickel is worth this kind of money. The first step is to examine the coin closely for any signs of wear or imperfections. If the coin looks worn or scratched, it likely won't fetch anywhere near the value we've discussed. However, if it appears to be in excellent condition, it's worth getting it graded by a professional. Coin grading is a system used by experts to assess a coin's condition, and the higher the grade, the higher the coin's value. Grading services like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, are trusted by collectors and can provide you with an official grade and appraisal. In conclusion, the 1987 United States 5-cent nickel may seem like just another coin, but for the serious collector, it's a piece of American history that could be worth far more than its face value. The combination of historical significance, rarity, and condition makes this coin a highly prized item among numismatists. So, if you have a 1987 nickel in your collection, take the time to check its condition. You might just be sitting on a rare and valuable treasure that could make you a small fortune. Today, we're talking about a coin that you might have in your collection without even knowing its true value, the 1977 United States 5-cent nickel. At first glance, it may look like just another nickel from the late 70s, but trust me, this coin holds a fascinating story and a surprising amount of worth. If you're a coin collector or just someone who loves uncovering hidden treasures, you're in for a treat. Stick around until the end, because you'll be amazed at just how much this unassuming 5-cent piece can fetch. The 1977 nickel was minted during a time when the United States was experiencing some interesting shifts in its economy and culture. The country was recovering from the 1973 oil crisis and inflation was rising. Despite these challenges, life in the late 70s had a sense of optimism, especially with the rise of pop culture, music, and the space race. This period in American history gives the 1977 nickel a unique backdrop, making it a small but important artifact of its time. But what makes the 1977 nickel even more fascinating is how it fits into the larger picture of coinage in the U.S. during that era. The obverse of the 1977 nickel features the classic portrait of Thomas Jefferson, designed by Felix Schlag. Jefferson, the third President of the United States, has appeared on the nickel since 1938, and his image continues to be one of the most iconic in American coinage. Jefferson's likeness serves as a reminder of his role in shaping the nation, particularly his contributions to the founding principles of liberty and democracy. On the reverse side, we see Monticello, Jefferson's Grand Virginia estate, which has also been featured on the nickel for decades. Monticello is an emblem of Jefferson's legacy, showcasing his architectural accomplishments and the deep connection he had to American history. Now, while this design might seem familiar and standard, the real value of the 1977 nickel comes from a few key factors: rarity, condition, and collector demand. The 1977 nickel was produced in millions, just like most U.S. coins, but here's the catch: finding one in pristine condition is extremely rare. Most of the 1977 nickels that were in circulation have suffered from years of wear and tear. They've been through pockets, wallets, and change jars, and as a result, they've picked up scuff marks, scratches, and discoloration. But if you manage to find a 1977 nickel that's been carefully stored or one that somehow escaped the wear and tear of circulation, you've got yourself a coin that's highly desirable to collectors. The value of a coin is primarily determined by its condition. A coin that's in mint state, meaning it has no visible wear and retains its original luster, is worth far more than one that's been heavily circulated. If you're lucky enough to come across a 1977 nickel in uncirculated or near-perfect condition, you might just have a hidden gem on your hands. The rarer the coin in pristine condition, the more valuable it becomes. A well-preserved 1977 nickel can command a price many times higher than its face value, but that's not all. The 1977 nickel has also gained attention due to a few rare minting errors that occurred during production. Minting errors can happen during the coin production process, and when they do, they make the coin unique and highly collectible. For instance, a 1977 nickel with an off-center strike, a double die, or any other unusual anomaly can skyrocket in value. These error coins are prized by collectors because they're one of a kind, and they add a special flair to anyone's collection. The combination of these factors, condition, rarity, and minting errors, makes the 1977 U.S. nickel a coin worth paying attention to. While you might not think of a simple 5-cent piece as something of great value, the truth is that a 1977 nickel in excellent condition could be worth a pretty penny. So, how much could you expect to make if you happen to have a 1977 nickel in pristine or near perfect condition? With the right condition and, of course, if it has any rare minting errors, this coin can fetch an astonishing $77,000. Yes, that's right, $77,000. For a nickel that was minted less than 50 years ago, this is an incredible amount of money. It just goes to show how valuable coins can be when they're in exceptional condition or have unique characteristics. Now, you might be wondering how to identify whether your 1977 nickel is worth this kind of money. The best thing to do is to inspect the coin carefully. Look for any signs of wear, like scratches, discoloration, or dents. If your coin looks brand new or almost flawless, you're definitely in luck. The next step is to get the coin professionally graded. Professional grading services, like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, can give your coin an official grade that will help you understand its value. Coins graded in the highest possible condition, such as MS 67 or higher, are the ones that can command the highest prices in the market. In conclusion, the 1977 United States 5-cent nickel might not seem like much at first, but when you dig a little deeper, you'll realize that it's a coin with a fascinating backstory, stunning design, and the potential to be worth a small fortune. Whether it's the scarcity of well-preserved examples, the potential for minting errors, or the historic significance of the coin, the 1977 nickel holds a special place in the world of coin collecting. So, take a look at your change jar or coin collection, because you might just have a 1977 nickel worth more than you ever imagined. Today, we're talking about a coin that might be hiding in your collection right now, the 1973 United States 5-cent nickel. While it might seem like just another nickel from the 70s, this coin has a rich history and can be worth a lot more than its face value. Stick around until the end of the video, because you'll be shocked by how much this humble 5-cent piece could be worth. To understand why the 1973 nickel is so valuable, let's start by taking a closer look at its design and what was happening in the United States around the time it was minted. The 1973 nickel features the same iconic portrait of Thomas Jefferson that's been a staple of U.S. coinage since 1938. The obverse, designed by Felix Schlag, showcases Jefferson's profile, a reminder of his important role as the third President of the United States. On the reverse side, we see Monticello, Jefferson's famous estate in Virginia, a symbol of his architectural genius and connection to American history. But as you can imagine, a coin's value isn't determined solely by its design. The real factors that contribute to the value of the 1973 nickel are rarity and condition. In 1973, millions of these coins were produced, so you might think they'd be easy to find. However, that's not the case when it comes to high-quality examples. Most 1973 nickels that were put into circulation have been through decades of handling and use, meaning they've likely picked up some scratches, dings, or signs of wear. These imperfections can significantly lower the coin's value. But here's the catch: finding a 1973 nickel in pristine condition, one that hasn't been through the wear and tear of everyday use, is incredibly rare. And when you find one, you might be holding on to something worth a small fortune. So, why does the condition of the coin matter so much? In the world of numismatics, coins are graded based on their condition, and the better the condition, the higher the value. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to mint state, with grades like MS 60, MS 65, and even MS 70 being the highest possible grades. A 1973 nickel in mint state or proof condition is incredibly rare, and collectors are willing to pay a premium for these high-quality coins. If you happen to come across a 1973 nickel in near-perfect condition, it could be worth far more than just 5 cents, but that's not all. There are other factors that make certain 1973 nickels more valuable than others, including potential minting errors. Minting errors are always a big deal in the world of coin collecting because they create rare, one-of-a-kind pieces. These errors could range from a misaligned die to an off-center strike or a double die, where the image is struck twice, creating a ghostly, overlapping effect. If you happen to own a 1973 nickel with one of these rare minting errors, you might just be sitting on a coin that could fetch a much higher price than a regular issue. The 1973 nickel is also interesting because of the time period it was minted in. The early 70s was a transformative period for the U.S. economy. In 1973, the country faced significant inflation, an oil crisis, and the beginning of the Watergate scandal, events that would go on to shape the country for years. Coins like the 1973 nickel became part of this era in history, and for many collectors, owning one of these coins feels like owning a small piece of a very unique time in American history. But now, you're probably wondering, how much can a 1973 nickel actually be worth? Well, if you have one that's in excellent condition, especially if it's uncirculated or even in a proof state, you could be looking at a substantial amount of money. And if you've got one of those rare minting error coins, the value could go up even more. After careful examination and professional grading, the 1973 nickel can be worth an astounding $72,000. Yes, you read that right, $72,000 for a 5-cent piece. That's a pretty mind-blowing number, right? It's hard to believe that a coin that was produced in large numbers just a few decades ago could carry such a hefty price tag today. But it's a testament to how the coin market works. Scarcity, rarity, and condition are everything. A single, well-preserved 1973 nickel can fetch an amount that's far higher than its original value, making it a very desirable find for any collector. So, what should you do if you think you have a 1973 nickel that might be worth a lot of money? The first step is to closely examine the coin. Look for signs of wear, scratches, or discoloration. If your nickel looks almost brand new, or if you notice any minting errors, you may be onto something special. The next step is to get the coin professionally graded by a trusted grading service like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS. These organizations specialize in grading coins and will give you an official grade that will help you determine the true value of your 1973 nickel. In conclusion, the 1973 United States 5-cent nickel is far more than just a piece of pocket change. With its historic design, rarity, and potential for minting errors, it has become a highly sought-after coin for collectors. Whether it's in excellent condition or has a unique flaw, this nickel could be worth a lot more than you think. So, take a moment to check your collection and your change jars. You might just have a 1973 nickel that could be worth a small fortune. Today, we're diving into a coin that might be sitting right under your nose, quietly holding some serious value, the 1974 United States 5-cent nickel. You might think this is just another run-of-the-mill nickel, but you'd be surprised at how much this coin could be worth, especially if you've got one in excellent condition. If you've ever wondered how certain coins can increase in value over time, you're about to find out. So, stick around until the end, because you won't believe just how much this 1974 nickel could fetch. First, let's take a moment to understand the significance of the 1974 nickel in the context of American history. The 1970s were a transformative decade, marked by a lot of economic uncertainty. In 1974, the U.S. was dealing with inflation, rising gas prices, and the aftereffects of the oil embargo. At the same time, the Watergate scandal was shaking the nation to its core, changing the political landscape forever. It was during this turbulent period that the 1974 nickel was minted, and today, it serves as a small but fascinating piece of that era. Now, when we talk about the design of the 1974 nickel, it's important to understand that the design hasn't changed much over the years. The obverse of the coin, designed by Felix Schlag, features the famous portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. This image has been a mainstay of the nickel for decades, and it remains one of the most iconic portraits in American coinage. Jefferson's image is a constant reminder of his pivotal role in shaping the nation. On the reverse, we see Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate, which serves as a symbol of Jefferson's legacy in his love for architecture and learning. While the design of the 1974 nickel may be familiar, the real story lies in its rarity and condition. Like most coins, millions of 1974 nickels were produced, but the ones that really stand out are those that have been well preserved. Most of the 1974 nickels that circulated over the years have been through the ringer. They've been passed through countless hands, dropped, scratched, and worn down over time. That's why finding a 1974 nickel in pristine, uncirculated condition is so rare and valuable. A coin that hasn't been handled or exposed to wear and tear over the years is far more desirable to collectors, and they're willing to pay top dollar for such a find. But how do you know if you've got a 1974 nickel that could be worth more than its face value? The first thing to check is the condition. If your nickel looks almost brand new, free of scratches and discoloration, you could be holding onto something special. If it still has its original shine and crisp details, it's definitely worth getting it professionally graded. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to mint state, with the highest grades being MS 65 or higher. A 1974 nickel in mint state could be worth a lot more than you expect. In addition to condition, certain minting errors can make the 1974 nickel even more valuable. Minting errors happen when there's a mistake during the production process, and these errors make the coin a unique, one-of-a-kind piece. For example, you could find a 1974 nickel with an off-center strike, a double die, or other unusual features that make it stand out from the rest. Minting errors are highly sought after by collectors because they add an element of rarity and intrigue to the coin. If your 1974 nickel has a minting error, it could be worth significantly more than a standard, error-free coin. But what's the true value of a 1974 nickel, you ask? Well, if you've got a nickel in perfect, uncirculated condition, or even one with a rare minting error, you could be looking at a coin worth an impressive $62,000. Yes, you read that correctly, $62,000 for a 5-cent piece. It's hard to believe, but it's the reality of coin collecting. Coins that have been preserved in excellent condition or that have unique minting errors can command massive prices on the market, and the 1974 nickel is no exception. Now, you may be wondering how to get your 1974 nickel evaluated. The first step is to carefully inspect the coin. Look for signs of wear, such as scratches, discoloration, or fading. If it looks nearly perfect, that's a good sign. But even if you think it's in great shape, the best way to know for sure is to have it graded by a professional service. Companies like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, specialize in grading coins and can give you an accurate assessment of its condition and value. In conclusion, the 1974 United States 5-cent nickel may seem like an ordinary coin at first, but when you take into account its condition, rarity, and potential for minting errors, you'll realize it could be worth much more than you think. So, if you've got a 1974 nickel in your collection, make sure to give it a close look. It could be the key to unlocking a treasure trove of value. Today's video is going to blow your mind. We're diving into the fascinating world of the 1971 United States 5-cent nickel, a coin that, despite being commonly seen in circulation decades ago, has become a hidden gem for collectors. By the end of this video, you might be shocked to learn just how much this seemingly modest nickel could be worth. Stick around, because you won't want to miss the jaw-dropping value we'll reveal. To understand why the 1971 nickel is so valuable today, it's important to look back at the time when it was minted. The 1970s were a period of great change and economic challenge in the United States. The country was dealing with inflation, rising gas prices, and a global energy crisis that would go on to reshape the nation's economy. Meanwhile, the 1971 nickel was quietly minted and released into circulation, unaware that decades later it would become a coveted item among coin collectors. What makes this coin special, though, goes beyond its design and historical context. The value of a coin like this comes down to its rarity and condition. two key factors that determine how much it's worth on the market today. Let's take a look at the design of the 1971 nickel, which may seem familiar to many of you. The obverse features the well-known portrait of Thomas Jefferson, one of the most influential figures in American history and the third President of the United States. Jefferson's image, designed by Felix Schlag, has graced the nickel since 1938, and it remains an iconic representation of the country's founding ideals. On the reverse side, we see a detailed depiction of Monticello, Jefferson's estate in Virginia, which symbolizes his architectural genius and deep connection to the early foundations of the United States. Now, you might be thinking, this is just another nickel from the 70s. Why is it worth so much? Here's the kicker: while millions of 1971 nickels were produced, the condition of the coin plays a huge role in determining its value. Like any coin, the 1971 nickel was heavily used in everyday transactions, and over time, most of them have picked up signs of wear and tear. But here's where things get interesting: finding a 1971 nickel that's been well preserved, one that hasn't seen much circulation or damage, is a rare occurrence. Coins that have been handled with care or stored in perfect conditions are in high demand because they're not only beautiful but also incredibly rare. In fact, finding a 1971 nickel in uncirculated or mint condition could mean a significant payoff for the lucky collector who owns one. Why does condition matter so much? In the world of coin collecting, a coin's grade can make all the difference. Coins are graded based on their physical condition, and the better the grade, the higher the price. A coin in excellent condition, or in mint state, has sharp details, no scratches, and little to no signs of wear. It looks almost as good as the day it was minted, and for collectors, that means it's worth far more than a typical coin from circulation. The higher the grade, the more the coin could fetch when sold. So, if you have a 1971 nickel in near-perfect condition, don't be surprised if it's worth much more than you expected, but that's not all. Minting errors, though rare, can also increase the value of the 1971 nickel. Minting errors occur when there's a mistake during the coin's production process, leading to unique or unusual features that set it apart from other coins. For example, you might come across a 1971 nickel with an off-center strike, a double die, or other distinctive anomalies that were caused during the minting process. Coins with such errors are highly coveted by collectors, as they represent rare, one-of-a-kind finds. If your 1971 nickel happens to have one of these errors, its value could be much higher than a regular coin without any flaws, but you're probably asking, how much can a 1971 nickel really be worth? Well, if you happen to have one that's in pristine, uncirculated condition, or if you found a rare minting error coin, get ready to be amazed. The value of a 1971 nickel in excellent condition can reach impressive heights. After being professionally graded and evaluated by a numismatic expert, a 1971 nickel could be worth as much as $66,000. Yes, that's right, $66,000 for a 5-cent piece. It's incredible to think that a simple nickel from the 1970s could have such a hefty price tag, but that's the beauty of coin collecting. Coins with exceptional rarity, condition, and history can fetch enormous sums of money. If you think you might have one of these valuable 1971 nickels, the next step is to have it properly graded by a professional service. The most reputable grading companies, like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, are experts at assessing a coin's condition and can provide an official grade that reflects its true value. Once graded, your 1971 nickel will have a clear market value, and if it's in great shape, you could be looking at a substantial return on your investment. To wrap up, the 1971 United States 5-cent nickel is a prime example of how a seemingly ordinary coin can turn into an extraordinary treasure. Whether it's the condition, the rarity, or a potential minting error, this coin has the potential to be worth far more than its face value. If you've got one of these hidden gems in your collection, it might be time to take a closer look. It could just be worth a small fortune. Thanks for joining us today. If you enjoyed learning about the 1971 nickel and want to see more videos about rare and valuable coins, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on the latest coin discoveries. Keep collecting, keep searching, and who knows? Your next big find could be worth a lot more than you think. See you next time.